All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Anthony is here bright and early. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. Welcome to Curiosity Corner Live. My name is Andy. Bow ties are cool. Um, every day at 10:30, every weekday at 10:30, we're going to bring you live science content just like this. So make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out, especially if you've been here a while. If you're lurking and you like what you see, make sure you subscribe so you're notified every time we go live. Nathan and Leo are here. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us. So, today I am here at the Great Lakes Science Center in our um, room. You might be able to hear some voices. We have camps going on currently. Registration is still open for camps, so we're running through, I believe it's August 14th. So if you're interested in doing camp at the Science Center or at home, we have at home options as well. We still have registration open for that. Um, so that's the voices that you hear through the wall. Anyway, let's talk about probability. So I'll hide the banner there. And probability. Um, Probability is a mathematic concept about how often things can happen, how likely it is for something to happen. So, one great example of probability is flipping a coin. So, if I have a coin here and I take this coin and I flip it, there's two options for what it can do. It can either land on heads or it can land on tails. So if I flip it, there's a 1 in 2 chance of it landing on heads and a 1 in 2 chance of it landing on tails. So if I flip it now, woo, I'm terrible at flipping coins. It landed on heads, so it was a 50-50 chance, a 1 in 2 chance of the coin landing on heads. So that's one example of probability. Another example of probability is something like this. So that's a die. That's the singular for dice. Has 6 sides. It's a cube. So it has 6 sides. So it has 6 options for what's going to happen. If I roll this die, there's a chance that it'll land on 1. There's a chance it'll land on 3. There's a chance it'll land on 6. And since there's 6 options, each one of those numbers has a 1 in 6 chance of showing up. So I'm going to move the camera just a little bit so that you can see the table where I'm going to. Oh, that's the computer. I'm going to move that out of the way. We don't want the illusion to be broken. Okay. And of course, here's Powdered Sugar, the ponycorn. She's here to learn about probability. Okay, so if I take this die and I roll it, it landed on 3. That was a 1 in 3 chance of landing on. It was a 1 in 6 chance of landing on 3. 1 in 6 chance landing on 3. Vera is here. Welcome, Vera. Thanks for joining us. 1 in 6 chance of landing on 3. But what if we wanted it to land on 3 or 5? 2 different numbers. So there's 2 different numbers that it could land on, 2 different results that we want to see. If we roll it, there is a 2 in 6 chance of it landing on either 3 or 5, which is a 1 in 3 chance. So let's see what happens. It landed on a 3. There was a 30%, 33% chance of it landing on either 3 or 5, but a 1 in 6 chance of it landing on just 3. Okay. Probability can be applied in a lot of different ways. There's lots of different things that use probability. dice are one example of things that use probability, but you also have probability in weather. So meteorologists need to understand probability to know the chances of whether it's going to rain or the chances of certain storms moving through. So they use probability. Depending on how many things you have in like a set of options, then the lower the probability can be or the higher the probability can be. So for instance, this is another kind of die that has 20 sides. So each time you roll it as a 1 in 20 chance of landing on one specific number. So if you wanted a 1 on this, a 1 is much rarer than a 1 on here. Yeah, like in baseball cards, there's odds. Odds are another way to talk about probability. Or in some video games, the one that comes to mind is like Pokemon. If you go into a patch of grass, there's always a chance that you'll encounter a certain Pokemon, and there's a chance that you'll encounter a different Pokemon. So if there's anything that's random, there's always probability used there. One final idea is if you have two. So in this case, if you have two different dice and you both want them to land on one, so that's both one. If they both land on one, how can you figure out the probability of them getting doubles? Well, in order to figure that out, you have to combine the two ideas, the two probabilities of these two different dice. And that's where the math comes in. So this is 1 in 6 chance of landing on one. This is a 1 in 6 chance of landing on one. So you'd think it might be 2 in 6, but it's actually not. If you rolled them and kept rolling them 100 times, you'd find that the probability isn't 2 in 6. It's actually 1 in 36 for them to both land on one. So you would have to roll this a bunch of times, and you have a 1 in 36 chance of both of them landing on one. And that's the case for any kind of doubles. So if you had 2 6s, there's a 1 in 36 chance of it landing on 2 6s. So let's see what happens. It was a 6 and a 3. So that combination was not within that probability of 1 in 36 landing on 2 6s or 2 1s. Now, I'm going to readjust the camera. All right. Okay. That brings me to your challenge for today. We're talking about probability, the chances of things happening, the chances of different results occurring. So your challenge is to design your own game that uses probability. It could be a game that uses dice. It could be a game that uses playing cards. It could be anything that uses those probabilities. So any ideas you come up with, we want to see them. Take photos, take video, and share those on social media with our hashtag StayCurious, CLE. There it is on the screen. We can't wait to see what you come up with. And don't forget, we have more science content just like this every day. So make sure you come back tomorrow at 10:30. We'll be talking about math art. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks for joining us. My name is Andy. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay curious.